if you were to ask me for the predominance of my life whether I was a spiritual man, I would have to say no. I've always been a good man, but whether I had a spiritual background or an intent behind it, I'd have to say no. Growing up as a lad in Liverpool in New South Wales, Mum was the caretaker for the local parish priest. So for the first 10 years of my life, I had a lot to do with the Roman Catholic Church. I used to get babysat by the nuns and spend a lot of time over with them. And what I got to realise is that they were very real people, just doing something beyond what they believed in. So once I hit my teens, I suppose the phrase I used to call myself was NP, or non-practicing. I gave my religion away, and life got in the way. And of course, I had children, moved to the country, was a country policeman, and I spent probably 20 years just going through the process of life. Every now and then I would read a bit about religions. I was always quite interesting, but it was more voyeuristic, where I'd poke a bit in there just to learn a bit more. And in the early 2000s, I owned a magnetic therapy company, and I started doing shows at the Mind, Body and Spirit festivals. And from there I met some really amazing and some really good people. And impressionably, I remember there were a group of pranic healers who were always on the stand, and they were a lovely group of ladies from Melbourne, very humble, but a beautiful sense of peace that came from them. And I remember they invited me, and I went to one of their nights, and I met one of their teachers, and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, if I could sit in that state of calm, life would be perfect. It was like sitting in something grand. That woman, she had done so much work. And it wasn't until I was 45, I was doing kickboxing, I was doing lots of interesting things, because I was a policeman for 20 odd years, and I was involved in a lot of serious crime and a lot of serious violent work. So I was doing kickboxing to 45 to still get that adrenaline rush that I used to get at the police. And what happened then was my shoulder started to pack it in, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do now? And I thought I might join a pistol club. And someone said to me, why don't you join a spiritual church? And I said, no, I want to join a pistol club. I went, pistol club, spiritual church, pistol club. So anyway, I joined a spiritual church, and to be honest, it was like opening Pandora's box. There was a wonderful, wonderful array of people, honest, wholesome, real. And I was really interested in the things that they were doing. And I think in the beginning, I was so caught up in wanting to be this or wanting to do this or wanting to be a psychic, and I was just trying too hard. And what we did, it was in the early, wasn't until about 2010 in the church, I could see what they were doing, and I always had this belief in community, even through my policing. I was always pulling groups of people together to bring a lovely bond, whether it was out in a small country town or large areas where I used to bring the triple O balls together with the fireys and the police. And I could see that the spiritual church was doing lovely things, but they weren't connecting. So I grabbed about 30 or 40 of my friends from the spiritual church, and I said, let's do a meditation night at my place once a month. And what I used to do was shout them dinner, and we'd sit and do a meditation. We'd all take turns, and then we'd sit around the fire and play music and sing songs all together. And it was a beautiful, beautiful night. And it wasn't until 2011 when I met my beloved Lisa that we spoke about it, and I said, let's open our barbecue to a Facebook group and to see what happens. And to our astoundment, that on our first night that we did it, we got 100 people turn up to our meditation night. It was beautiful. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is what I want to do. I want to see about bringing people together, getting them to touch their heart and inspiring them to be more than what they are. So that's what we did. We started doing it every month. And at one point we had nearly 300 a night turning up, and it was beautiful. And again, like everything, it evolves and we learn. And to be honest, I got a bit carried away in it all, carried away with the numbers and people. And so I suppose we all evolve. And with Lisa, we end up in a relationship and we got married. And what I learnt that was being spiritual was more than just being a psychic or a medium. It was walking the talk. It was being authentic, and it was a way of life where you live by thought, word and deed. Everything you did, everything you thought, all your actions should be congruent with what's good and what is spiritual. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, but from today onwards, I try and base my life is either not right or wrong. It either just adds to the light or it takes away from the light. And the word of light is an interesting thing, because I have a lot of amazing mentors, a lot of lovely people who used to guide me along the way. And I remember one lady in particular, she said, "Oh, Cameron, you're a light worker and you work for the light." And I'd never heard that phrase before, and I thought, my goodness, she's a bit loony. And 3 years later, I honestly believe that we all work for the light. And whether the light is God or source or whatever you want to call it, it's a beautiful thing. So with Lisa now, we run our monthly events, and we bring different guest presenters from the alternative health industry in. But the whole idea is to touch and inspire people. I see us as a bridge between the divine and between people, so that they can get a touch of this aspect, this spiritual aspect of them, and in time have some worth or some belief that they can do it without having someone to do it for them. And the more I stop trying, funny enough, and there's a bit of a joke, all my friends who are all the different psychics used to say, "Just be," and I say, if someone just tells me to just be again, I'm going to have to bop them one. I'm sick of it. Everyone telling me to just be. And then one day I got it, and today I meditate at least twice a day. I watch what I eat. I've given up alcohol, and I've given up coffee. And these aren't things I see as a penalty. I've seen them as a choice. And as a result of these good choices, I can feel a difference in my body. I'm more sensitive, not only to other people, but more sensitive to my own reactions and the way my body reacts to different things. So if you were to say, is spiritualism a good thing? I would say yes. It's a way of life where we believe that something's out there that is greater than us. It is a faith without religion. We believe in something greater. I believe in something greater. And I have a great respect for everyone else's beliefs as well. There's no right or wrong. I love what I do. I believe in what I do. And I'm inspired to the future that we can work with a sense of community and raise the vibration and spirit of people in our area, which I believe will impact the rest of the world.